Hi, my name is Amy Boland and I am the founder of the 61 Exchange. What we do is we exist to provide opportunities for women to share their story and to offer hope. For me, at the age of 23, I found myself divorced, and it was from an abusive marriage. And I, after that, was so broken, and I had all these hopes and dreams and plans for my life, but I honestly felt like maybe God wouldn't want to use me because I was so broken. And what I realized when I sat down and I read Isaiah 61, and it said that He will give us beauty for ashes and joy for mourning. And I just love that so much, that like even in my brokenness, no matter what I had done or how my life had fallen apart, or my dreams that I had for my life had fallen apart, God stepped into that and said, no, I'm going to give you beauty for it. And anything that happens in our life, we know that it's not wasted. We became a ministry of Orchard around 2 years ago, and we have seen exponential growth since becoming a ministry of Orchard. It has given us the boldness and the confidence to walk in what God's called us to, just because of the way that Orchard comes around the people that are stewarding these ministries. What they do is they offer pastoral leadership, they offer financial advice. They also help with resources and spreading the word about what we're doing in the city of Atlanta, and hopefully one day across the country and the world. That's our hope. The 61 Exchange has had the opportunity to impact and influence the lives of, I can literally say, hundreds of girls. But I want to tell you about a girl named April. I actually met April 10 years ago. Before 61 Exchange was even a thought in my head, God crossed my path with her in a small town in South Georgia. I had graduated from college and I was teaching a theater and dance troupe, and April was actually one of my students. And she was 15 years old. Around 3 years ago, I was having dinner, and one of my best guy friends, I was just inviting a bunch of people over to my house, and he said, hey, I want to introduce you to this girl that I'm dating. And I was like, who is it? And he said, actually, you know her. And he said her name, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's incredible.
Hi, I'm April Phelan and I work with the 61 Exchange. So I was heavily impacted by the 61 Exchange and Amy's heart in it. I came from a very broken place with a lot of wounds and different things that had gone on in my life. I had a lot of sexual sin from a very, very young age with some family issues, which led to me deciding early on in life that I was going to figure out what people wanted, and that's what I was going to give to them. That led to a series of drug abuse and abusive relationships, and eventually I found myself engaged to who I thought I would marry, and then got rescued by the hand of God now out of that relationship about 3 months before my wedding. When I thought I was hitting rock bottom, I was actually at work a month after I found out, and I was working out of town and drowning in my sorrows at the bar. And when a gentleman followed me into my hotel room and took advantage of me that night. And it was in that moment where you're totally hit rock bottom, where God totally came in and met me. And He had to, because I had nothing else to try to control my life with. I was in complete surrender, but the sweetest surrender. And I went on to try to pursue a relationship with God. Pretty early on after that, met Amy and the 61 Exchange, and it has been so awesome just I had never shared any of those things before, but there's so much freedom in sharing your story, and learning that and growing in that has led me to grow in my relationships with such a great community of women that the 61 Exchange brings. The freedom in sharing your heart and your story, and the freedom in seeing that set others free is amazing, what God does with the power of a testimony. So it's just a blessing overall, just to see the ripple effect of coming from a broken place, watching how God can use that, and then watching how God can use that story in other people's lives, and then it just ripple effects from there. So it has been really, really awesome just to be a part of the 61 Exchange.
We at the 61 Exchange want to offer that platform for women to be healed and restored, and to say, you know what, yes, this did happen to me, but Jesus is going to use it for something bigger in His kingdom, and He's going to use it for something greater. It's my prayer that we have 1,000 more Aprils that are impacted and influenced, and they're able to share their story and walk in the freedom